All right, today we're jumping into something a little different. It's a personal travelogue I found on a blog called Roadblog 101. We're going to follow this traveler's journey to Bangalore, India, and what's so cool is that the whole trip, it was kicked off by just one single, really fascinating question. A question we're going to unpack together.
So here it is. This is the question that set everything in motion. See, our traveler had just been to Kolkata, a city that's, well, it's completely defined by its holy river, right? So it got him thinking, what about a place like Bangalore? It doesn't have a river. So how does a major religion like Hinduism, where rivers are so integral, how does it thrive there? This whole trip, this whole story, it's really a hunt for that answer.
Okay, so the first decision, where to go? It was down to Mumbai or Bangalore. Now you'd think the choice would be about, famous landmarks or the food scene, right? Nope. What's so funny about this is the deciding factor. He had a colleague in Mumbai, which would have been fun, but he took one look at a map of the city and its massive size he said it was spooky. And just like that, Bangalore it was. The adventure was on.
So he lands in Bangalore. First impression? Super smooth, really modern airport. But as he was about to find out, the city had a few, let's call them interesting surprises up its sleeve. And it started literally with the very first Uber ride from the airport.
And here we go, story number one. The Uber ride's going great, everything's fine, and then suddenly the driver just pulls over. In the middle of nowhere, he gets out, walks into this shop that's packed with what our traveler described as rowdy-looking people. So you can imagine for a second there's this little bit of tension, like, uh-oh, what's going on? And then the driver comes back out, holding his lunch, just a simple packet of rice. It's such a perfect little example of how travel can spin up this whole dramatic moment out of something so totally normal and human.
So, with some time to kill before he could check into his hotel, where do you think his first meal in India was? You guessed it, McDonald's. I know, but wait, this wasn't your standard Big Mac. He went for something called the Masala McEgg. He said it was exotic and quite spicy. And it's a great reminder that you can find a taste of the local culture even in the most familiar global places.
All right, every traveler has their thing, right? For this guy, it was collecting Hard Rock Cafe t-shirts. And this little side quest turned into a whole epic journey across Bangalore. First, he's in an Uber, stuck in that famous traffic. Then he gets to the cafe in Whitefield, and disappointment. The t-shirt just says Bangalore, not Whitefield, which is what he wanted. But hey, the detour led to a break for some amazing bel puri and chai, so not a total loss. Finally, he heads to a second Hard Rock Cafe, this one in a really cool old colonial building. And success. Persistence is key, people.
And this quote, this just says it all about the energy of the city. Crossing the road was a challenge. I summoned my Indonesian instinct to do that. I love that. It wasn't about waiting for a green light. It was about tapping into this instinct for organized chaos. It really paints a picture of that rhythm of the streets that you just have to feel to get.
Okay, so day 2. This is where he takes a guided tour. And this is where Bangalore really shows its true colors as a city of wild contrasts. We're talking going from total peace and quiet to absolute sensory overload in just a few minutes.
The day started off here in this incredibly serene place, the Lalbagh Botanical Garden. Just imagine a peaceful morning walk, beautiful weather, surrounded by trees brought in from all over the world. It's this gorgeous, quiet little bubble left over from the British Raj, a real escape from the city's hustle. And then, bam, total 180. From the calm of the garden, the tour plunges straight into the chaos of the KR market. Our traveler's description is blunt. It was dirty, with trash piling up, just overwhelming. It's that raw, unfiltered side of the city. Talk about sensory overload after such a peaceful morning.
And just as quickly, the tour shifts gears again. From the market's chaos, they arrive at this, the Vidhana Soudha. It's the state's parliament building, and it is just grand. A huge, magnificent building that really screams power and modern ambition.
But, not everything on a trip can be a showstopper. After the market, they went to see the Bangalore fort, and the review was, not impressive. And honestly, I love that he included this. It's real. Travel isn't just a highlight reel. It's got its underwhelming moments too, and that's what makes the story authentic. Okay, lunchtime. This was at a super famous spot called the Mavalli Tiffin Room, or MTR, and getting food here is an adventure in itself. Forget lining up politely, it's this mad dash to the counter to pay and grab a number. Then you wait in another room till they call you. Once you're seated, it's just this endless stream of incredible vegetarian food. And the best part? A local family saw he was a bit lost and kindly showed him the ropes.
Just a fantastic, spontaneous human connection.
So, what's the verdict? Now get this, our traveler says he's never a big fan of a vegetarian meal, but he had to admit the food at MTR was absolutely delicious. He was totally won over. Isn't that one of the best things about travel? It just completely shatters your preconceptions and surprises you.
The day wasn't done with its surprises, though. The plan was to visit the government museum, but it was closed. Okay, plan B. Head to the tech museum right next door. And what happens when they're inside? A citywide blackout. The whole place just goes dark. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up. And it's always those unplanned, chaotic moments that you end up talking about for years.
And that's a perfect lead-in to what we could call the only in India moments. You know, those experiences that just make you stop and go, wow, okay, this is different.
So there he is in an Uber, and for the first time in his life, he sees cows just hanging out in the middle of the street. But what was really amazing was the driver. No honking, no getting annoyed, he just calmly, logically navigated around them like it was the most normal thing in the world, which of course it is. It's such a simple, everyday thing, but it's this powerful, visible sign of the culture woven right into the city's daily life.
Later, a walking tour took him to Tipu Sultan's palace, and this is where he stumbled upon a really cool piece of history. Turns out, Tipu Sultan, who was a Muslim ruler and a major thorn in the side of the British, was in power at the exact same time as the American and French revolutions. How wild is that? It's just this incredible reminder that these huge fights for independence weren't happening in a vacuum. They were happening all over the world at the same time.
You'd think going to the movies would be the same everywhere, right? Not so much. He went to see the new Indiana Jones, and it was a whole cultural education. First off, he buys a ticket for row C, thinking it's a decent spot. Turns out it's the third row from the screen, neck cramp city. Then, before the movie starts, everyone in the theater stands up for the national anthem. And the real kicker? Halfway through the film, it just stops for an intermission with ads. A totally different way to watch a movie.
All right, so we're nearing the end of the trip. The final hours in Bangalore left him with a couple more powerful images. And, finally, the answer to that big question from the beginning.
As he's heading to the airport, he sees something that really sticks with him. It's this image of a young girl, under a dim streetlight, just hugging her books while waiting for a bus. It was a quiet little moment, but it made him think about all his colleagues from Bangalore who'd moved abroad. It felt like a symbol of all the dreams and the hard work that propels people forward.
And this is where it all comes together, the answer he was looking for. He realizes, yes, Bangalore is not Kolkata, it doesn't have a holy river, but that doesn't matter. Hinduism is everywhere, it's vibrant, it's alive, it's proudly part of the city's identity. The religion doesn't need a specific geographical feature to thrive. Its heart is right there, beating strong in the city and its people.
You know, this whole journey was really about one thing. Starting with a simple idea, a preconception, and then discovering the real answer just by being there. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's a surprising discovery? Could be something tiny or something huge that's ever completely flipped your script on a place you thought you knew. Thanks for coming along for this one.